Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon and good evening. Please tell me what the sound is like. I'm trying something new today. Please let me know what the sound is like. I'm trying something new. And if it's horrible, I can take it off. But it's really important that we test it. Okay then. I know what it is. 1. What about now? Am I echoing now? Am I echoing now? Okay. Alright then. So, we are going to get started here. I have a really interesting show today because I'm going to be looking over an interesting case, something that went viral essentially in Russia. Something went viral. We all know this guy who came and got arrested. We're going to be looking back at that story to tell you today the different categories that exist. The different categories that exist when you're coming to Russia and you're coming through the different entry ports. I want to go over the kind of things that you can run into. Okay, so bear with me here. I'm going to let people come in. We're going to wait a little bit. This show is going to be really nice because you're going to get to see me re-expose this guy. Very simple, very fast. But as you see on our description, you can read there's 4 ways of entering Russia. There's the routine entry. When things go smoothly, this is just, hello, what's your name? This is my name. This is where I'm coming from. I'm a tourist. Boom, stamp, you're in. Random detention. This is when you get pulled aside for secondary inspection, but you don't get to go through your phone. You're not asked 1,000 questions. You're just set aside and somebody asks you the same questions they would ask you at the booth, but you get asked again and then you get a little bit more nervous. Now, then there's the interrogation portion. This is the 3rd way that you can pass through the border. The interrogation is the phone, in detail questions, and you're waiting from 4 to 10 to 12 hours. I'm going to break them all down, but we're also going to go over the worst case scenario. And we're going to go look at the sabbatical Tommy because he is the worst case scenario. Okay, we're going to be looking at the story of what happens when you enter Russia the wrong way. Okay? Привет, мой американский друг. Любовь и наилучшее пожелания из... I can't read that last part. But hello, brother, hello. My Russian is not so good, I'm sorry. But yes, здравствуйте. Привет, друг. Привет. И добро пожаловать, друзья. Everybody. So we're going to get started here. Remember, if you're not subscribed, subscribe to the channel so that you can talk to everybody else and you guys can have a conversation. Kyobo Jesse, what's up, homie? So we're going to be looking at these clips. What we're going to start off with is introduction of the worst case scenario. We're not going to break it down. We're just going to hear what he has to say because this is the worst case scenario for many, okay? So let's look at here. Okay. 22, 29. Here we go. Check this out. I'm going to put the volume up for you guys. And let me just... Oops. Let me get this ready for you. Okay, guys. Um, we're going to be looking at this story again. Listen to what's about to happen, please. This is the worst case scenario. We're going to break it down later, but we're going to start off by letting you know what can happen to you if you mess up when coming to Russia. This is a story that a lot of people know. He went viral and I debunked his dumbass. So this is what happens.
Hello. I just spent the last 18 days in prison, and I'm currently at the migration office in Detention. My visa was just canceled, and all I'm hoping to do right now is just get out of this country. With any luck, we'll do that tomorrow.
So I don't know if you could hear that. Maybe it was a little bit too low. 1 second. Let's try it again. 1 second. All right, let me see here.
In prison. The night. Hello. I just spent the last 18 days in prison, and I'm currently at the migration office in Detention. My visa was just canceled, and all I'm hoping to do right now is just get out of this country. With any luck, we'll do that tomorrow.
So, let me know if you heard that. He essentially is getting kicked out of Russia, and this can happen to you guys. He got kicked out because he was being a dumbass, and we're gonna break his story down later. But if you are the type of person who's gonna come illegally to Russia, break rules in Russia, or you already come with the idea to do something bad in Russia, you're gonna end up like him, getting your visa revoked and being banned from the country, okay? I hope that the second time you guys get to hear it a little bit better. Let me know. We're just starting off the stream, and I just want to make sure that we have as much information thrown out to you guys as possible. A lot of people didn't know that the Russian border guards sometimes do look through your phone, which was a little bit mind-blowing because last live we had, I mentioned it, not a lot of people knew, so I decided to do this live. The live breaking down the 4 ways you can enter into Russia, or the 4 things that can happen to you when meeting a border guard or FSB or a police in Russia. Okay, so yeah, please let me know, guys. I know we have quite a few people in here, maybe like around 30. And I am experimenting with the sound, so it could be a little bit choppy and bad. So let's continue. We are gonna go over number 1. Now, number 1, like I said, it's when you come in, and I've had many of these. The routine entry. The routine entry is you giving your passport. What you have to know is that every single person is going to be checked the same way. You're going to look at the border guard. There's going to be a mirror behind you, and they're just going to look you up and down. They're going to be very quiet. They're not there to be your friends. Border guards in general are very mean and very serious. Some of them around the country, usually Spanish-speaking countries, are very friendly. Not in Russia. Okay, not in Russia. So the easiest way to do the entrance to Russia is have a serious face, give your passport, and listen really carefully because they'll sometimes speak a little bit of English. They'll say tourist, or they'll say country. They'll ask you American. Even though you have your passport, they'll ask you a little bit trick questions. You have to listen very carefully. What I like to do is I like to get really close up to the glass so that I can hear everything they have to say. Because if you don't answer, you're going to give them a chance to just reject you. Okay, as a dual citizen Russian American, I was always asked questions in separate room for like 30 minutes, no problem. They just wonder how about work and what you do. Yes, this is something that I wanted to talk about as well. When you're a Russian citizen but you have other nationalities, if you have a residency or a second passport from an unfriendly country, you're gonna go to second inspection almost 100% of the time. When I'm crossing into Russia on train and I see Russians with other passports, 100% of the time they get put aside. It happens 100% of the time. I've never seen it any other way. The reason is because the Russian government wants to know what their citizens has been doing. Okay, so thank you for bringing that up, Danny. This is something that I've seen 100% of the time. All right, so that was me explaining to you guys the routine entry. I would say that a routine entry is about, for a foreigner, more than 50% of the time that I've entered has been routine entry. Believe it or not, let's just say 50% of the entries have been routine entries. And you might think, whoa, that's pretty good odds. Yeah, it's really good odds because it's routine entry or three other things that could happen. So the routine entry being 50% means that you're less likely to have a bad experience. I hope that's making sense to you guys. Do you carry your Mexican passport? Yes, I do. When I enter Russia, I carry both passports. The Mexican citizenship is a friendly country to Russia. So if I get stopped, sometimes I mention like, hey, I'm also a Mexican citizen, but it doesn't matter how many passports you have. The one that matters is the one you came into Russia with. Whatever visa you have, that's the only one that they're going to take into account. Remember that even if you have 10 passports, they will only look at or care about the one that has the stamp of entry. Okay, that's really important. Do they stock fish or lakes? Not in my area. Everything's natural. Okay. So that was a really good question about double citizenship. No matter what citizenship you have, it doesn't matter because you're going to be looked at again under the residency, under the citizenship that was stamped on arrival. What's up, Vaughn? Welcome to the stream, my friend. So does anybody have any questions about the routine entry into Russia? Routine entry into Russia is what everybody should be aiming for. Don't act suspicious. You didn't commit any crimes. You don't have any drugs on you, unless you do. But for the most part, you'd have to be dumb like Sabbatical Tommy to do those things. Is it true a person should not say "How are you" to a Russian person if he just met him just now? I mean, if you want to be weird, you can do it. Nothing's going to happen if you do it, but it's very weird. It's uncommon. I've experienced both cases, US Customs and Russian Customs. I have had the same experience as both. You need to understand police want to know what kind of person you are and the reason you enter. Exactly. So I've had many times coming into the United States where I go to secondary inspection. When you come into Mexico to the United States, it's a 50-50 if you're going to get a secondary inspection if you have a truck or if you have a lot of luggage. A lot of luggage is more than 50% chance you're going to get secondary inspection. It's the same in Russia. If you act like a suspect, if you are stuttering or not moving with a purpose, you're going to get red flagged. You're going to secondary inspection. How have Russian customs changed throughout the time that I've been here? That's a good question because I have noticed a difference. I have noticed a difference and I'm going to speak about them, but further in the live because we're going over the first one, the routine entry. And on a routine entry, nothing is changed. When they stamp it, you go. Okay, now we're going to go into random detention. The random detention is where you're crossing the border and you're answering at the booth and they do this. They press the red button. This is where things have changed. This is where I see a lot of new questions for the second style of being stopped. Do you think that fighting for Russia is genuinely a bad idea for someone with no combat experience? It's the worst idea. If you don't speak Russian and you have no combat experience, you're only going to get other people hurt. So if that's you, don't do it. If you care about Russia, don't enlist if you have zero combat experience. So does having a sentry help in Russia avoiding lines? What the hell is a sentry? I visited the city you made a YouTube and video, Kirov. Well, hopefully you enjoyed Kirov, my friend. How have Russian customs changed? So I was going to answer this question. We're just getting into the random detention, right? At the random detention, it's not an interrogation, okay? It's still secondary inspection, but it's not an interrogation. It's essentially where you get set aside. They take your passport. Remember, they press a red button and they take your passport. You can stay up to 1 or 2 hours for a random detention. That just means that they took you out of the line and they're not going to interrogate you. Now, what I've noticed about these are the questions that have come up. Why? Because I was entering Russia at first when President Biden was president, and they asked you a lot of political questions. So during Biden's reign, they would ask questions about politics like, hey, do you believe in this? Do you believe in that? But when it was the election time, they even asked me, who are you going to vote for? Who do you want to vote for? So they do worry about politics. And the Russian government, and especially their border people, they keep up on the times in America. So whatever is happening in America, they ask about it. So whoever asked, how has things changed? Very good questions, because the Russian Border Patrol asks you things that are relevant to present time United States. Can you believe that? What was the process like of getting a Russian visa like as an American? Chosen, I actually got my visa through a visa center, and I'm kind of cooperating right now with the visa service, which is the best in America right now, because a lot of the consulates are not allowed to work, or a lot of businesses went out of business because of the sanctions. But you can join our Telegram, The Russian Experience. Like I always pin it, I'll pin it now. And you can get information there. A lot of these things that you ask, I can answer on the Telegram, and it saves a lot of time for the lives, okay? It's not that I don't want to answer, but there's a lot of things that we can answer on our Telegram here. So just keep in mind, we do have a Telegram, and we've been helping people get their visas. We've helped people fly into Russia. We help people get hotels. We help people get bank accounts, all these things that you need to be done. So I meant when you meet here in West, we say hello. Oh, how are you? Oh, no, yes. Unless they're your friends, Newman. Unless they're your friends, really good friends, don't ask anybody how they are. If you're walking down the street and you want to be nice and you say, hey, how are you? Good morning. I don't know. Russians just don't like that. If a Russian citizen with a tourist visa visits Russia, U.S. citizen visits Russia and then returns home, no, I haven't had any issues coming back to the United States. I've gone twice, and I haven't had any issues. I've heard a lot of people come back to the United States after Russia, no issues at all. You don't have to be quiet after saying hello. It's just not common. Exactly. So Russians are not usually going to say hello. But it's not just Russians. It's a lot of cultures. I would say that the majority of Northern Europeans are like this. Like North Europeans, Germany, and the Nordic countries, they're all like this. Finland, Sweden, I think, are like this. Norwegians maybe are like this. They're definitely like this in Germany. Like, they weren't talking to me in the street. If I didn't know them or wanted to be nice, It was not normal. Maybe in my small town, I would be like Sevos, but not very common at all. A visa center. Are the visa centers for all countries or specific countries? I can help with America. I can help with European countries. So if you're from Canada, United States, and Europe, I can help you with those. I don't have any connections with Asian countries or African countries or Australia. Okay, so just join our Telegram and go ahead and ask there. We have a lot of people that can help us. Okay, so again, we went over the routine entry. This is where you get stamped and you go inside. Not a problem. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you a clip of the show that we have going on. Okay, let's see. This is gonna be a breakdown of this sabbatical guy, because it didn't make any sense to me why he was acting the way he was acting. He came to Russia and he didn't have his paperwork right. Okay, so check this out. Oh, okay, so by the way, guys, you need to carry your passport once you're in Russia at all times. You need to carry your passport, and you need to carry your registration, and you need to carry your migration card, okay? It's better that you carry it than you don't, because if not, you're going to end up like this dum-dum. Again, can you guys hear me? Let me just make sure that everybody can hear me. Let me know if you can hear me, because I changed microphones for this part, and I'm gonna be switching the microphones on and off. So let's go back over here. Remember, this guy is the guy. Yikes. Okay, well, this is the guy that got expelled from Russia because he came and instigated in Russia. We're going to be looking at his story, and this is where it starts. He doesn't take his passport. Here we go.
Well, look at America. But that doesn't work on me, because I'll make fun of America too. Russia and America both have problems.
Туда-сюда, короче. Я у него зафотовал документы, только паспорта у него с собой нету, но он мне пока...
Okay, you saw there, the border guard says he wasn't carrying his passport and he was walking all over the place. Okay, remember that. I'll move my my little head over here. Let's restart that part. Sorry.
Туда-сюда, короче. Я у него зафотовал документы, только паспорта у него с собой нету, но он мне показывает паспорт на фотографии, вот как китайцы всегда. Ага. Вот. Типа блогер, не блогер, странно как-то. Давайте документы скину, посмотри, что это вообще за документы, я такие первый раз вижу.
Well, shit. Just got stopped by the cops there. And a guy who did not look like a cop. I'm guessing maybe that guy I asked before was trying to ask some questions about the village. Must have reported me. And my patience for not mentioning this stuff is starting to get pretty thin. I'm just here to make videos. I've been very positive towards Russia in a time when no one is positive towards Russia. But maybe I'm insane. Maybe I'm actually insane. Why am I still making these videos? It is a bit funny, though, that literally right after I was talking about Russian bots, the actual police shows up. I mean, literally 10 seconds later. Oh, Russia. Alright, so after having a run-in with the police, I probably should just go back to Beard John and turn the camera off, but I'm a little OCD with making these videos, and because I have a few screws loose, I'm going to continue on all the way towards the Chinese border to a place called Leninskaya, Lenin Town. Because of course the Russians built a town called Lenin Town, right on the border with China. Yeah, I'll have more to say when we get there.
Okay, so in those two clips, you noticed he wasn't carrying his passport. The cop, he gets stopped by the cops, and he gets told, "Hey, get out of here. You're in the wrong place." Okay, so what I'm trying to tell you is, if you're allowed into Russia, it doesn't matter. It doesn't mean you could do whatever you want. I'm using this guy as an example because he seems to be the dumbest tourist that ever lived. He came to Russia, and after he got told, "Don't go over there, you don't have a passport, you do not have permission," he gets on a taxi and he goes there illegally again. He ends up getting arrested, and he gets said that he gets charged for no crimes at all when he admits to these crimes later. We can break those things down later because there are some clips that I want to show later again. We are talking about how to enter the United States. Do not do what this guy did, okay? This is the dumbest thing you can do. He has nothing in between the ears. You can clearly see he's instigating a problem for himself. So, let's continue. Now, we went over the routine entry. We went over the random detention. This just means that you get randomly chosen to go into secondary inspection. Now we're going to talk about the interrogation, okay? Now, the interrogation is real. A lot of people from the West would consider what happens to you with the cops is an interrogation. And as a someone who's been through some of these things, I would say it's more like an interrogation because sometimes they do ask you things that you are like, why would you ask me that? It makes no sense, and they keep grinding you. And I'm telling you that it's an interrogation because I'm a military guy, and I've been questioned military things, and it's illegal to do that. Like under the Geneva Convention, I'm not allowed to give information more than what I usually give. So when you get asked over and over again, it's a fucking interrogation, all right? But I'm not saying it as a pansy. I'm just saying if you are going to come to Russia and you're being sus or you have questionable history, you will be questioned on your questionable history. My questionable history is a military. My questionable history is I went to go fight in the Afghanistan war. And my questionable history is that I know demolition and infantry work and all of this stuff. So before I tell you what happens in the interrogations and what kind of stuff they ask, I'm going to go ahead and look at the chat and let's go answer some more questions. Or if you guys have any comments, go ahead and say whatever you have to say. By the way, where are you guys watching from? You know, we used to have this channel. People used to come in and say where they're watching from. We have a lot of people who just new faces who aren't saying, "Hello, I'm watching from this place." So let's take about 2-3 minutes and let me read off some locations, guys. Where are you guys watching from? I like saying Wisconsin. Hello, my friend. Ireland, Virginia, Moscow, Texas, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin. I always mess up Wisconsin because I've been saying Wisconsin for so long. From Utah. I'm an American in Moscow. Yes, of course. United States. Is that Minnesota? Samara. Lapland, Sweden. Riga, Latvia. South of Europe, Texas, Scotland here. Wow, that's pretty crazy. Phoenix, Arizona. Thank you, my friend, for watching. The Bahamas. South Africa. Do we have anybody watching from New Zealand or Australia? Hey, ciao. No, wait. What the hell? How do you say hello in Italy? In Italian? Wow, we have so many people watching from so many different continents. We have Africa, we have Europe, we have Asia, we have North America. Do we have anybody from South America? Oh, we do say ciao. Nice. All right, guys. Well, look at that. We have so many people from so many countries. And I want to say thank you so much for supporting this channel. And again, if you're not subscribed, remember to subscribe so you can write in on the magical Russian pony, aka a bear, under shirtless President Vladimir Putin. Yeah, so you don't want to cause any problems for yourself. I've told you guys before, when you're crossing the border, don't act suspect. This means do not look nervous. There's a huge stereotype that you're gonna get sent to secondary inspection no matter what if you're a foreigner. That's not true. That's not true at all. You're more likely to get sent to secondary inspection if you're a Russian coming from another country with another citizenship. I have crossed the border more than 20 times. More than 20 times just in 1 year, essentially. I do a lot of runs to Mongolia, or I go do some things in western side of Russia. And I've come in through Turkey, I've come in through Mongolia, I've come in through, well, damn, those are the two sides that I come in through, because Moscow and Irkutsk. But I've done it so many times that actually, man, I've hit so many different types of inspections or interrogations or just easy check-ins coming in. So Jesse says he's seen this video from Sabbatical who incriminated himself. I broke those videos down. I actually have a video where I broke him out so good. So guys, let's continue here. I was going to talk about the interrogation now. When you get sent to secondary inspection and you're going to do an interrogation, it's different than just a random, the random in detention. The random detention takes 2 to 3 hours tops. The interrogation portion can take up to 10 hours to 12 hours. Think about that. You land in Moscow and it can take to 10 hours. Think about that. Hello, Dan, mi amigo. Why don't you open an account on Boosty? It's really hard for me to do Boosty because I don't trust it. I think it's American. I don't trust anything that's from America or something like this. I don't know. I don't know if it's Russian or what it is. I had one before and they just stopped working because I think they know that I'm from Russia. Well, I'm not from Russia, but my content is from Russia. I think the thing is you got to respect the rules and laws of the country you're visiting. Of course, Anne. You know, Anne, a lot of people forget that. And Anne is watching from Ireland. So, beautiful, beautiful Ireland. Yes, and I understand there's a lot of immigrants from all over the world going to many European countries and some in Russia as well, and they don't respect the rules. But Westerners are more likely to break the rules that are not so simply broken. Like, for instance, a Westerner is more likely to break a law that is ridiculous, like the dumbest things, right? Like, I'm talking about dumb things. Like this guy, he intentionally went to go vlog. He broke the crime because he was entitled. He felt entitled. Whereas other foreigners, they break laws of other types. But Westerners have this Western mentality that they can get away with so many things. And that's what I've noticed. The disrespect for local law, like Anne is saying. Of course, Scotland is beautiful too. You know what? The whole world is beautiful, but I was passing through Ireland. I passed through Ireland every time I went to Afghanistan. And I have to say, hey, thank you for subscribing and writing in on that Russian pony, Voyager. I think I've seen your name before. So maybe you just wanted to see yourself ride the pony again. But do we have any channel members on here? People like Sabbatical Tommy are considered an ungrateful goblin because he's a Westerner who thinks that he rates or that he can get away with everything. So if you're a channel member, spam the ungrateful green goblin for this guy, please. This guy right here who said some really funny things, and we're gonna get to this guy later. But just remember this guy's face. Any channel members, give me some ungrateful green goblins. They look something like this. They're hilarious. So let's continue on with the show. So I was letting you guys know about the interrogation is much different than a random detention. A random detention can take from 1 hour to 3 hours. I said 2 to 3, but yes, it's 1 to 3 hours. Sometimes it can go 1 hour and you're out, but an interrogation is going to last much, much longer than a random detention. I have been passed through the routine entry 50% of the time. I would say that a random detention is about 10%. Of the times that I've passed, it's been 10%. Okay? Like the random detention has been 10% for me. I get randomly stopped and then they let me go. The rest 40% of the times has been interrogation. And it's not what you think, guys. It's been 40%. Like if I've gone across 10 times, 4 of the times it's been interrogation because they already know me and they really like to grill me. And I think I just get lucky. I don't know why. They like to grill me. They want to know what's going on with my life. They tell me they watch my videos. They know more about me. They know, I mean, I'm not trying to hide anything, but I'm letting you guys know. I get grilled because it's good. They want to know what the heck is going on with me, right? And I have no problem with that. Usually I have interrogation style crossings, but that's just me because I would say I put myself in that position. And what I'm trying to say is if you are a nobody inside of Russia and you don't make content and you don't show your face like me, like I'm a dum-dum. I'm an idiot. I'm doing these videos and I'm exposing myself. I'm going to get the attention. But I'm not worried anymore. When it comes to the grilling and the interrogations, I am happy that it's happening because I rather them do their due diligence than something like fall through the cracks, right? So if they're doing that to me, I know that everybody else who might catch their attention is also getting grilled. Dude, so yeah, I've been told by many police that they watch my videos. I've been in cities as far as Novosibirsk, and I've been told by cops that they know me from the videos. I've been to Kirov Oblast. I think it's just because when you get to, I would say, a few thousand subscribers, they have their eyes on you. It's just natural, right? Because you have to imagine, any other country does it as well. I'm pretty sure that the United States has its eyes on influencers from other countries. I'm just I wouldn't say like an influencer, but I'm a vlogger from America that's in Russia. Yes, and I like I said, I love that they're doing their job, guys. I don't bite the hand that feeds me. I don't have anything against the Russian government. It's just normal for me to get grilled every time. Oh, Nigeria. Hello and welcome. So, I'm going to show you a few clips from this sabbatical guy. Please tell me if the sound is good or not when it's happening. It's very important that you hear what he says because he's going to confess many things. He's going to let you know things that you should not do. We're going to use him as the worst tourist of the century. Let's see here. here, I'm going to show you what he actually tells a little bit of truth in some of these things that he says, okay? And I'm going to show you some of the truths that he speaks about. Okay, here we go. He did a podcast and he talked about these things. I'm going to show you.
Very far from like a jingoistic American. You know, I've made videos in the US criticizing all the problems we have there, and I invited them to go look at that. Right. And maybe some of that got to them, because then they started a different line of questioning. They're trying to see if I was a Chinese spy because they knew that I spoke some Chinese and I wanted to go see the border with China, and they just kept hammering me over and over again.
What were they asking you?
They were asking me, they started off with a line of questioning about whether I was a spy, trying to suss that out. They were asking things like, what's your real job?
Right.
What were you doing at the bridge? It's very weird.
Was it like a footbridge, or was it an open border, or was it like a closed kind of just for trading?
It's just for trading.
Oh yeah, doesn't look too good.
No, yeah, it was tricky.
Yeah.
But it's not like this bridge was a secret. Later I found out that this has been on Russian television, it's been on Chinese television. It's just, in the end, it was all an excuse.
Yeah.
This guy who was interrogating me, this guy would be he'd be leading the charge in trying to ruin my life through this whole process. So after they got done with the line of questioning, trying to figure out if I'm a CIA spy, and then later a Chinese spy, eventually I get told that tomorrow we're going to bring you for a drug test because we're worried about your health. This would be the first of multiple drug tests that they would.
All right, we're going to stop there. You see how some of the things he says is kind of true. They do ask you about these different things that kind of make you look guilty of something. His problem is that he was guilty of looking like what they're looking at, what they're accusing him of. We saw earlier in the video that I showed you, he got detained one time and he got told to stop doing what he was doing. He had no passport, and then he gets in a car and he goes back. So if you get told, don't touch this, because usually people who touch this are bad people, don't do it, we're going to let you go. They let him go, and he comes back and he touches this. He put himself in that position. So guys, when you're coming into Russia, do not do the things that people say not to do. Okay, you're not cool if you think you want to act like a boss man and say so many things that if you're anti-Russian, I don't know why you're coming to Russia like him, but I'm just saying, do not act like a person who is going to do something bad, because they're really good at catching those people. They're really good at catching those people. Now, if you make yourself a victim, you will become a victim in Russia. In Russian society, if you make yourself a victim, you will become a victim. And the fastest way to do that is coming to Russia on a tourist visa and start behaving badly. Now, I'm showing you these clips because after you come into Russia, you can still get in trouble. Crossing the border is not the hardest thing. Being good in Russia probably is harder for Westerners, because we inherently think that everywhere we go is the same place that we just left. Like Americans go to a country and they treat that country as if it was America. This is the truth. All right. Anybody have any questions about the interrogation portion? I'm going to take a little pause here and take a breather and get my thoughts together, because There's going to be something else that's really, really funny. Again, I wanted to show him in this episode because this is the best example of what not to do. If you do everything that he doesn't, you're not going to have any problems in Russia. And it's absolutely really simple to do the opposite of what he did. You need something as big as this in between your ears because he seems to have nothing. So go ahead, guys, ask some questions. We're doing this live because the last live we had, a lot of people had no idea what it was like crossing through the border in Russia. And I thought, you know what? I can go more in detail on this topic and let people know. People are scared of crossing. People have heard so many stories. It's crazy, man. People ask questions all the time that make no sense. It should not scare you to cross a border. But for some reason, people get worked up about crossing the Russian border. Russian border is it's not like any other, I mean, it's no different than any other border in the world. For me, who knows Russian and English, I'm more afraid of American cops because they are very arrogant. Of course, in America, you can get Trump charges, and people, if you say that, they tell you that it's propaganda. I think Boostie's from Amsterdam. Yeah, well, they took me off of Boostie, I'm pretty sure because of my Russian content. If you want to donate from inside Russia, you can donate to my Sber account. Or if you want to donate, my PayPal is in the description. But I don't really mess with the Boostie anymore because they did me dirty. They took like $50, man. That's a lot of food. The Boostie really took my money. Well, not my money. You guys donate the money, but it was supposed to come to me and they took it. And $50, believe it or not, would feed you for at least 2 to 3 weeks here if you cook yourself. $50 is a lot of money. What are the chances for someone from South Asia migrating to Russia? You can migrate. The best way for a South Asian to migrate to Russia is through student visas and later a career. Learning the Russian language while going to school in Russia and getting a job. What's the news about Russia shutting down YouTube? No, that was all a lie. A lot of the YouTubers from Russia lied and made a lot of YouTube videos about that. No, that never happened. Listen, YouTubers are liars. And I like to call their bullshit out. Russia, YouTube slowed down in different regions. If you're living in Moscow, you can use YouTube much better than you can if you live in Irkutsk Oblast. The west of Russia can still access the servers from Europe very, very fast. YouTube maintenance has gone slow, and so slow is what we get as far as YouTube. Okay, that's what happened. Dan, are you going in depth on the video, guns, and laws? In the future, yes. I'm trying to get myself into a gun range to make another video. I have made a video about guns at a gun expose in Moscow before, but yeah. Oh man, that sucks. See, I don't know. That's why I don't know what to do anymore. I honestly don't know if people want to support. I guess if you're from Russia, you can donate to Sberbank, and I won't promote the PayPal, but it's down below. What is the passport control looking for if they interrogate you and ask for your phone? So yeah, I'm not gonna talk about the phone yet. Miguel, let me get done with some questions because the interrogation, I haven't even gone into it in depth. I've only described to you how long it could take. And I've told you what happens to me. What happens to me is very friendly. My interrogations are still interrogations, but they're friendly. And I consider them interrogations because sometimes they ask me things that make no sense. They ask you about all types of things. Hey, thank you, Anne. Yes. Subscribe, like, and all those things. And remember, if you are not subscribed, you come in on a bear. It's how it works. And we love seeing that. ¿Qué pasa, amigo? Sweden in the house. I'm sorry. No problems, no problems. Greetings to Christopher in Sweden. So, I will say, I live near Moscow. I can vouch. YouTube works slow, but fine. Thank you so much. Listen, this is a perfect example of the misinformation from other YouTubers. A lot of YouTubers from other countries, like foreign YouTubers, they will lie for clicks at all times. They will lie for clicks like no other because this is their job. A lot of YouTubers from other countries take this as a job. I am lucky where I don't have to work. This YouTube stuff is, I enjoy making it. And plus, my mom knows I'm alive. I started this YouTube because my mom wanted me to call her every day. And I said, Mom, it's better if I show you what I'm doing. So I make YouTube videos. But you have Ivan. Ivan is in Moscow, and he's telling us that it's slow, but it works. If it's slow in Moscow, it gets slower the further you go away from Moscow, because Moscow is it's pinging on the European servers, from what I understand. Do you remember how it went for you when the very first time visiting Russia? Yes, so the first time was the fastest. The first time was the fastest. The first time I crossed through Moscow in 2022, and they let me through so fast. But then the mobilizations happened, then the sanctions got harder, and then after that, it never was fast. Never. It usually went like, to be honest, it was in between routine and random. So after that, it was 30 minutes to 10 to 30 minutes, okay? But in the beginning, it was really, really easy. From my observation is because Western media is so dominant and Russia is a lot of work in soft power. YouTube example, they can shadow ban you if they need. Yes, I understand that. But we're talking about being able to use the YouTube website, and YouTube is not blocked in Russia. It's just very slow. What's blocked is the monetization of the Russian view. You can still be monetized if you're streaming from Russia, though. I have Raiffeisen Bank International, have branches in Russia, and it's not sanctioned. Yeah, but Raiffeisen is really, really bad because it takes a big percentage of your transfers. Raiffeisen is the worst bank right now because it is the unsanctioned bank and it takes advantage. On the next live on Sunday, we're going to be talking about how to legally transfer money. Finally, our forums on the Russian experience, we have certified ways of bringing all your money into Russia. We have a guaranteed bulletproof way to bring all your money to Russia legally, and we figured it out on the Russian experience on our Telegram, and we're going to be going over this on Monday. If you've always wondered how to get money into Russia, 10,000, 20,000, 50,000, 100,000, on Sunday's live, we're going to talk about it. Welcome, George. Hey, man, thank you so much. Hey, be safe, get to work, and I hope you are healthy and in a good mood, brother. Thank you so much for joining us. So, yes, this Sunday, we're going to finally break the news how you can bring hundreds of thousands into Russia. Now, there is cryptocurrency, and that's a big part of this way of bringing your money. Now, in the old times, it used to be controlled by a certain amount of people. What we're going to be doing in this channel is letting everybody know how you can do it. I'm going to break it down, and you can bring tens of thousands of dollars into Russia. My friend did it. He bought an apartment and he bought a car. The car that you see me driving is his. I am thankful that he lets me drive it, but my friend has done this technique, totally legal, 100%. And yeah, a lot of people can now come and buy their dream house. So let's continue on with the topic at hand. A lot of people have been asking, can they look through your phone? Will they look through my phone? They can look through your phone. Will they look? It's a 50-50. Because when you get interrogated, if they simply do not ask for the phone, they don't have to look through it. I've been through interrogations where they don't look through my phone. I've been through interrogations where they look through my phone. It's been, if I've passed the last 5 times, they never even bother me about my phone. Sometimes they look through my phone and I have nothing to hide. I open up that phone and they just want to see what's going on. Is that shocking to some people? Have you guys ever been through a border patrol where they look through your phone? What happens if you don't give them your password? Well, they're not asking you for the fucking password, man. They're telling you, give me your phone and it should be open. They're not asking you for your phone so that they could look at a locked screen. They're asking for your phone open, Jesse. That's so funny. Bro, that's so Mexican. That is the funniest thing ever. US border agents have tried and I don't give them my password. Yeah, man, this is not the United States. It's not, it doesn't work that way. When they ask for your phone here in Russia, they're asking for your phone opened because they're going to look at it. Yeah, if you have nothing to hide, you have nothing to worry about. Also, another thing, if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. Make sure your phone is not filled with anything. If you're not committing any crimes, make sure it's clean. Yeah, border agents in America, their heads have grown. They finally are able to do what they were meant to do. So they kind of abuse that power with some people. They should be taking care of the border. US cops are like in war. They kill you. Yeah. No, listen, Kozar. I was in the Afghanistan war. I've been in 3 Afghanistan campaigns. It was harder for me to kill an enemy in the war than it is for an American cop to kill an innocent civilian in the streets of Los Angeles. Okay, the cops in America are very badly trained. Very badly trained. It is easier to get a confirmed kill in the streets of Los Angeles as a cop than it was for me to do in a war, in the Afghanistan war. So that's what it is. Yes, if you have to delete things, delete them because they're not illegal until they get. So, what's illegal in Russia is only illegal in Russia. What's badly viewed in Russia is only badly viewed in Russia. You have all the time in the world to delete all the things that you think are bad, and if you don't know what's bad, get in our Telegram, the Russian Experience. It is linked, guys. It is linked in the chat. You don't have to worry. You can go into the Russian Experience. That's our Telegram. The Wild Siberia is the Russian Experience. You can ask us anything there. They're not going to look through your naughty stuff. To be honest, I have to admit, like, people have naughty stuff. They're not going to be looking through that stuff. So yes, do we have any questions, guys? This live stream has been going on for about an hour. We're halfway through. You guys know how it is. I try to keep you guys entertained. But if you have no more questions, I can move on to the next segment. This next segment is really important because it's about to get juicy. It's gonna get really good. All right, so we're moving on to the next segment here. Listen really carefully to what he has to say. Listen very carefully to what he's going to say. This is the most important part because he reveals what he reveals his true intentions. If you guys are coming to Russia with bad intentions, it's not going to be good for you. Phones are cheap nowadays. Yes, buy a new phone and come to Russia. Don't ruin your life. like if you're a bad person, like if you're nasty things in your phone, easier just to bring a new phone. If you're a dirty little hamster, if you want to be a dirty little hamster, buy a new phone. I'm not saying you're doing illegal things, but if you're a dirty little hamster, buy a new phone. Come to Russia that way. Buy a new traveling phone, guys. If you want to be a dirty little hamster, buy a traveling phone. I live on the border with Canada. Went with my wife on a road trip to British Columbia, and the Canadian border agents made us give up their phones for them to check. Holy crap. I didn't know that. I didn't know that Canadians did that. Anne's gonna be the secret agent of this chat. Anne is gonna be our Irish chat commissar. Yeah, we have to say everything, guys. We can't be hiding things, right? We have to be honest because Russia has been like this for a long time. Okay? And as you can see in the comments, it says Canada is doing it now, America is doing it now, where you have to give up your phone so they can look through it, and now it's legally, that's how it's done. It's being done because there's a lot of crazy people in the world. And Russia has been the punching bag of the West for a long time, and it's essentially taking care of itself, man. So, yeah. George with a President Putin phone call. If you're a member, guys, please use that. That's a good one to use right now. Daddy Putin on the phone. That's hilarious. I'm really happy that we put that one on there. It's a really funny one. You got a problem? Call the president of the Russian Federation, Vladimir Putin. Putin on the phone. Hilarious. If you are not from Ukraine, your phone and personnel data won't be checked more likely. No, there's a lot of people getting their stuff checked. It's not just Ukrainians. I'm not a hamster, but I'm definitely dirty. Lol. I wish I'd be in Russia for the victory parade. Respect to President Putin and President Xi, both for great, competent leaders. All right, so here we go, guys. It's time to show more clips of Sabbatical. Listen really carefully to what he's about to say. Okay, what I'm about to show you is something that he put up and he directed it towards me. I had an exchange with him on his video. I went back and forth with him. He knows who I am. I kind of burned him and I made a video response to his videos. But before I even published the burn video, he was already talking trash to me. So the following words in this, it's directed towards me.
Actively making propaganda for them. They're like, oh, that's illegal.
Pretty much. Which is why the only Americans you still see in Russia are just complete hacks. Just, they've sold their soul. Maybe, I like to say, looking at most of them, they probably couldn't get laid in America. And they had to go to Russia to find Russian women. I mean, they're very beautiful, very welcoming. And then they start doing propaganda to stay in Russia. They probably have no other skills.
Holy shit, man! So it's bad. It's as bad as people say. Like, this sounds like a kangaroo court, like dictatorship, fascist, police state, everything. All like the worst nightmares coming true.
And it's so fucked up that they did this to me because I didn't want to believe this. I didn't go into Russia to make like anti-Russia videos. I wasn't trying to be that guy. I mean, in my heart, I guess I always supported Ukraine, but I never made that public. And if I'm being honest, you know, I lived in China. Like, China's issues or whatever was always more important to me than what was going on in Eastern Europe.
Okay, first of all, my mom was in the chat. Hola, Ma, la quiero mucho. Buenos días. Estoy aquí haciendo un vivo. La quiero mucho. Que tenga un día muy bueno. La extraño. Ojalá pueda venir en octubre. Y nada, Ma. La amo. La adoro. So, that was just me saying to my mother that I love her and I miss her. But you can see his true intentions there. And he considers any American, and I know he was talking about me, any American who stayed in Russia, we are making propaganda videos. And he goes on to say that it's probably because we couldn't get laid in the United States. That part to me was like, what the hell is this guy talking about? What is he talking about? I'm not the best looking guy. But this thing right here, he's the one saying that we probably could not get laid in America, so we came to Russia. Okay? The Russian women's standards are way higher than American girls. So if I couldn't get laid in America, I couldn't definitely not get laid in Russia. Now, another thing is, if you're looking like this, and you're traveling the world and you don't have a wife, I'm married. I'm not being out there finding women. If you're looking like this, you're more than likely paying for you. He's paying for his sex, 100%. But the craziest thing for me was, he says he was pro-Ukrainian. I'm not pro-Russian or pro-Ukrainian. I'm an American. And the best thing you can do as a foreigner is respect Russia for what it's doing, respect its conflict, and not get involved. I don't respect Ukraine because Ukraine has taken so much money. Ukraine has a bad record since 2014. But listen, guys, I don't want to get into it, but he came to Russia and he was pro-Ukrainian, and he instigated this moment for clicks. And this video, this live has been about what to do or how things can happen if you come to Russia. You don't want to come to Russia if you're anti-Russian. Remember that. It's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah, it's a crazy thing to be living in a time when we have people like him who exist. Oh yeah, you know, George, you know. That's what he is. I'm not gonna say the word because it's been a long time since I've said it. I'm sober from that word. I think the last time I used it was like 1996 or 1997. I remember specifically when I used that word for the last time. Yeah, but anyways, we've gone over the first three are as follows: routine entry, random detention, interrogation, and worst case scenario. We've been talking about the three, but we've come in and out of the worst case scenario. The worst case scenario is you are like this guy that we're showing. You get your visa revoked, you get banned out of Russia, and you'll never come back. You'll never come back. You'll never come back. Back in 2007, I went to the United States, to New York. My flight home was the day before Christmas Eve. I got stopped at JFK Airport and interrogated. Where did you stay? What's in your bags? Yeah, it could happen to anyone in any country. They kept me for 2 hours. It can happen in America. Burbank, California, baby. That's like my backyard, essentially. Man, good thing they let you go, you know. It gets pretty annoying when it gets over 3 hours. So, we are going to continue with this live. We only have a couple more things to go over. And here we go, 39:52. We're going to listen to him a few more times because there's no better example of what not to do. It's even crazy. Essentially what he did was make a how not to visit Russia video. You can take it one way. He can do his propaganda saying Russia's a dictatorship, I got sent to jail, blah blah blah. But you can also take it as the guide of what not to do. And that's why I was thinking, if I make this video, I have to show the worst case scenario of what not to do. So it goes side by side. No matter if I get detained. No. I don't need you to get detained. I just bring me some salsa. You can bring me salsa. I've had people bring me Valentinas. Just bring me Valentina. I'll make quesadillas. Not a problem. All right, guys. We're gonna dedicate about 5 more minutes to the live stream questions. Again, if you're not subscribed, let's just get some people subscribed right now. I miss that bear. It's just funny seeing it. We have a goal this year. This year we're trying to get to 90,000 subscribers. So yeah, if you're watching and you're not subscribed, if you like lives like this, if you like long form content, I make videos about interesting topics in Russia. And summer is coming. Now I'm gonna start building. Now I'm gonna start working outside. The house build is back because we are getting better weather, and yeah, guys, we're getting it in. The goal is 90,000 subscribers, guys. If you watch my videos, share my videos on all the Telegram groups. If you're not in our Telegram channel already, get in it. ¿Qué onda, loco? ¿Cómo estás? Muy bien. Aquí nomás, pasándola chido con toda la raza en el live desde Siberia. Always having faith. Thank you for writing in Spanish. So, guys, any questions? I know this live has probably been boring for you guys. We've had a lack of questions. Maybe I missed this live. This topic I thought was going to be a little bit more interesting. I'm sorry, but it's very straightforward. A lot of people, they don't understand that it's the Russian government's right to detain you and ask you as many questions as they want. Why am I so handsome? That's hilarious, Daniel. All people whose name is Daniel, we're all handsome. What do I love most about Russia? Besides my wife, I like my days, how I spend my days. I like waking up, and then when I wake up and I can go to our plot, and that's what I love. That I have just the most peace in my heart, and I go to my plot and I pick up trash, I cut wood, and it's so tranquil. That's what I love. I love my life. I love my life. I love my life in Russia, all of it. I'm a contractor here in Los Angeles. If you have any questions, compa, let me know. Bro, I would literally pay for your ticket. Anton, I would pay for your ticket to come visit me, and I'll pay for your housing. You pay for your food. I'll pay for your housing and your ticket if you come and work for me for a month. I'll pay for your ticket for a month of stay and your housing if you come help me, please. I have a question. Do you think the U.S. military will fight Canadians and Greenlanders when the orders are given? No, not at all. Americans will not fight Canadians. And especially not Greenlanders. That was Greenland, right? Yeah, no. Canada and America, they're not ready to go to war with each other. Listen, it takes a long time to get two countries to go to war when they're this close. The proxy war in Ukraine took a decade to get ready, at least 10 years. We're not there yet, bro. You have to think about it. Like me militarily, when I do my military analysis, I think about everything militarily. And when I give you my answers, I have a little computer here that I do, and I generate these answers because if you look at history, the last time we saw a proxy war with two neighbors of similar cultures, the same language, it was the Ukraine conflict with Russia, and that took 10 years of America and Westerners of pumping weapons and brainwashing the Ukrainians. Yeah, brother, do you have gangs out there? No. Organized crime doesn't exist in Russia how it exists in the United States. Organized crime in Russia is, I think, more underworld like more like I would say it's like more underground, right? In Russia, you don't have gangs outside in the streets like in America. A gangster in Russia is usually you wouldn't be able to tell he's a gangster. This is my opinion. Maybe the Russians in the chat can tell you, but there's no gangs like in America. Like when I was growing up, I was involved in organized crime. Growing up in Los Angeles, we ran the streets, we would kick it at the block, we would rob, we would break into things to let people know we existed. We made our presence known. Whereas in Russia, you don't see that. A gopnik is not a gangster. A gopnik is a thug. A gopnik is a nobody. But a gangster in America, although we are thugs, a gangster, the old style, holding down a hood and doing all these things, it's much different. I'm from SoCal, San Fernando Valley. I'm from Sumar, you know. But yeah, from what I understand is in the 90s, the Russians did have gangs like we have still. My father-in-law talks about Russia in the 90s, and he straight up says like, yeah, you wouldn't be able to come to this part of town if you were from another part of town. They held it down like that. Yeah, exactly. So I wouldn't classify a gopnik as organized crime or gangsters. But what I am saying is that Russian gangsters, they don't make their presence known. Am I in the middle of my academic life? What do you think about coming to Russia to continue my journey? Maxim, I think it would be an absolutely brilliant idea. Russia can offer you a good education and a way to get citizenship or residency and a job. Excuse me, too much water. Where are you watching from, Maxim? You have to let me know what country you're coming from. A lot of these things can influence what the reality is. Yes, so thieves in law are also not gangs. They're also not gangsters. They're just lazy people. Because in their tradition, they don't work. It's in their law not to work for even 1 ruble. It's in their culture to not do any work that's legal. So they're not organized. They're just not doing jobs. You're from North Africa? Yes. Come finish your school in Russia. I would like to see more interviews from the Kremlin. What is that? Kremlin. What is that? From the Kremlin? Like more interviews that happen between the Kremlin and news? Yeah, those guys, they're different, man. So this is a really good question, and I talk about this on a lot of my lives. Um, hey, Ivan, welcome to the stream, my friend. There's a guy who makes me smile all the time. Listen, if you're a foreigner and you look like I look, you're going to be put in the Stan countries. They're going to say that I'm Uzbek. They're going to say I'm Tajikistan. They're going to say that I'm from Azerbaijan. They're going to say I'm from Turkmenistan, Kyrgyzstan, Kazakhstan even. And I answer this question on my lives all the time. It's because Russians are not exposed to West Europeans. Okay, they're not exposed to them. There's not a lot of Western Europeans in mass numbers. When I'm living in Germany, they say I'm Italian. But like I'm looking like 100% Spaniard. Most of the people in Spain look exactly like what I look like. I'm what you consider a criollo Mexican. I have more Spanish blood genetically than I have Native American blood. I have not brown eyes, maybe I do, and my hair is not black. My hair is also not straight like a Native American, it's curly. So this is just how it works. What's up, Dan? Is Dan from Indiana living in Russia? Oh, you know what's interesting? A lot of people from Russia think I'm from India. A lot of Russians, because of they hear my accent and they say, "Oh, you're not American, you're Indian." And I'm like, wait a minute. So a lot of Russians, they don't know that America, we have different accents. Now, if you're from the United States, please let me know if you're watching from the United States. After hearing me talk, if you're from the United States, answer this question. Do I sound American or do I sound like a Mexican who immigrated into the United States? Like, do I sound like a foreigner, I guess? Because growing up, this right here has been what everyone sounds like in Southern California. Even the white people, even the black people in our hoods speak like Mexican Americans. And people forget that people in New York speak Italian American. They just think that Italian is American. It's not. Yo, what's it going? And all this stuff. Like, guys, that is not American. That is not like an Anglo-Saxon British English. The original colonizers of the United States were the British. And nobody that I met growing up spoke British English. No, I don't have Russian citizenship. So, so to non-Americans, to people who are not American, they will hear, oh, he sounds Mexican. But for a true American, like a dude, a real dude from America, no matter from what region, he's going to be like, yeah, that's a Mexican American, and he's speaking English from the United States, from California. Yeah, but that's just how it is, man. We have our own dialect, we have our own accent, yes, but it's still an American one. Oh. Jonathan, thank you so much for joining the community. I love when that happens. I'm gonna play that again. He sounds like an American from East LA. Yeah, sure. Because that's essentially from where I am from. And it's an American accent. This is not a dialect from Mexico. I can speak fluent Spanish, but I can speak fluent English as well. And that's just how it is. We're gonna replay this because this is one of the best emotes or GIFs in the game right now. Yeah, that's why we're playing it again, and it's the most funny one. No, you're making it on time. We have about 30 minutes left. What I will tell you is, in Russia, they have the same thing. And I'll explain. A Russian can hear if you are Tartar, if you are Chechen, if you're from Dagestan, if you're from Buryatia. So it happens in Russia too. The different ethnicities who are 100% Russian citizens, these are real Russians born and raised in Russia. They also carry a thick accent from their culture. And it blows my mind because Russians, when they hear a different sound, they're like, wait a minute, you don't sound American. It's like, come on, man. How do you get Russian citizenship if you live in the West? You have to go through the process, bro. To get Russian citizenship, you have to get residency, permanent residency, and work your way up to citizenship. Congratulations. I'm still waiting. I'm not going to use the shared valued visa to get my residency. I'm going to do something else. I don't believe in the shared values visa. But I will be working maybe next year. I will be trying to get my residency finally. Because I've been lacking, boys. I've been living in Russia on a tourist visa and it's not the business. I want to start my tourism company already. Americans are the only people who have a bass and a treble pitch in their voice. The rest of the world has a flat one. Yeah, what do you mean? I need an example. American in Russia married a Russian. It's the same in the Philippines too. Major islands have particular accents. Yeah, it's the same in the United States. It's just that like people forget that the United States has different ethnicities. The shared valued visa is where people immigrate to Russia under the context that you share the same ideologies as the Russian people. I've published many videos on this topic. My Russian is non-existent. I've also not been studying Russian like I should be. I have a lot of things that take more of my time. I'm alone. Yes, so any other questions? We're just gonna ride the rest of the stream into the sunset, answering questions and engaging with you guys. Maybe even looking at a video or two. Yeah, if I talk like this and this was my regular accent, people would not even question that I was American. But because I don't have a southern accent or a southern drawl, then they definitely ask like, hey, where are you from? You're not American. But just imagine if this was my all the time accent, then there'd be nobody questioning if I was American. Now, if I talk like this, the Russian people would not understand me, right? They'd be like, hey, where are you from? Why you talk like that? We don't understand a damn thing you're saying. Because some people in America, they don't understand the Southern folk. Because the Southern folk talk really different. We have all types of Southern draws from different states. Some people talk way different. People down in Alabama, they slow down their accent. They sound really different than the people from Mississippi. Because people in Mississippi, right? So, could you imagine if I talk like this all the time? You wouldn't enjoy it, would you? So, guys, I'm just giving you an example. If I talked different, probably wouldn't be able to understand me. My Russian is better than Dan's. Yeah, I'm pretty sure everybody's Russian is better than mine. But I have to say, because of my accent, it's very neutral. A lot of Russian people like to watch my channel. A lot of people in Russia like my accent because it's neutral. Some people who are from like Australia or England, they have really rough accents. It sounds really bad for them and they don't like watching that. How long do you have to be living in Russia before you apply for residency? It's not about how long you live in Russia. You have to apply for it. You have to do it. Yeah, of course I sound Mexican. Again, Patrick, I'm a Mexican American from Southern California, and even blacks and whites will sound Mexican American if they grow up in a predominantly Mexican hood. That's what I'm trying to explain to people, is that you guys don't understand that I'm not talking like this because I'm Mexican. Because I was born in the United States and I was raised in the United States. I talk like this because I was living in a Mexican neighborhood. I got white people, Caucasian, Anglo-Saxons, never been to Mexico, never left the United States, who talk like this. Hey, fool, they talk even worse than me. So it's so funny. It's a dialect. I have white people who be like, hey, Holmes, let's go down to the pad and let's get some brews. They say like, I'm like, bro, what the hell? You're talking like way, I don't talk like that. So it's so hilarious. It's all about where you're raised, guys. That's why you have a lot of white people also who talk like blacks. There's a lot of white people who are raised in black neighborhoods who talk like black people. That explains everything. Yeah. You know, I have to say one more thing. When you're learning the Russian language, if you're a British person, your Russian's gonna sound really rough. British people cannot get rid of their accent when they try to speak Russian. Spasibo, like they'll like Здравствуйте, Привет. Like they sound really weird. They can't say just Здравствуйте, Привет, Как дела? Like people from California, if you're exposed to Spanish, a lot of our letters are similar to the Russian ones. And because in Spanish we roll our R's, I can say a lot of Russian words, but the British and white people cannot. I am Russian and I use the Mexican accent at work. You mother. That's so funny, man. Anton. He Oh my gosh. I don't know if it pisses me off, but I want to hear it, man. Anton, join our Telegram and send a voice chat. Please send a voice chat on our Telegram. I need to hear what the hell you're a Russian who uses a Mexican accent at work. Yeah, I want to hear that. My British boss speaks Georgian and they see that he's a foreigner. Yeah, British people have the hardest time learning a language because they have a really thick accent. This is absolutely truth. Is it possible to express yourself for the next 10 seconds just to practice? You want me to express myself in Russian? Did you know that American accent is basically a traditional English accent? The modern British accent was contrived in modern history to distinguish themselves as better than the rest of the states. There are no good Mexican restaurants in Moscow. Yeah, we've talked about that all the time, but it's okay. Mexican food is not. Mexican food will never exist in Russia. Mexican food needs Mexican cooks, Mexican ingredients, and yes, that's what happens. So, guys, any questions? You know, this live lacked a lot of questions. We used to have more questions. Maybe on the Sunday live, because on the Sunday live we're going to be talking about bringing money into Russia legally and finally exposing the truth on how to do it. Is Noble Cava? I don't know what that is. Mexican food doesn't have to be spicy. Mexican food just has to be different. I've got some neighbors that speak some form of Mexican dialect. Spanish is from Spain. They got their own thing going on. Yes, Mexico has, I think Mexico has at least 100 languages. So there's a lot of people who speak their native language. Like I know a couple of things that Nahuatl, like there's a lot of words in Nahuatl that are reused in Mexico, so you understand them. Because we use these same words for naming towns or, you know. Do you have interviews with other creators? I'm trying to do interviews with other creators, but it's just really hard to get a hold of them. A lot of them don't want it. A lot of people don't accept anymore. My advice for you is if you want to see me interview, I used to do interviews with other content creators before. That was my thing. I used to bring you guys a new content creator every week, but they just stopped being available. If you're a content creator, you can come on. Like, I love talking to other people. Will using stable cryptocurrency make it easier to transfer money anywhere in the world? Yes, the way to bring money into Russia is through cryptocurrency, and it's legal in Moscow to get your crypto exchanged into rubles. And that's what I'm going to be talking. We're going to be going over the legality of this, how you do it, and how we can help you in the Russian Experience Telegram. Question, why am I so honest? Because when I was growing up, I was taught not to lie by my mother, and I honor my mother, and then I joined the Marine Corps, and then I was taught not to lie in the Marines as well. So I went through hazing from my mother and hazing through the Marine Corps. Enough about yourself. How is Ksenia doing? Well, I've been trying to get Ksenia to come on live. Ksenia's been a little bit under the weather lately. She just got her braces not too long ago. There's going to be very important news happening about Ksenia because we're going to a dental appointment. So we're going to do an update next weekend. Next weekend, Ksenia's going to be on live. Imagine that you and Ksenia had 2 sons and they decided to become soldiers to go to the front to defend motherland, Russia against NATO or against China or ISIS. How do you feel about that? Well, if my kids had a contract with the military, I would respect it. I have nothing to go against. I did my military service, and I do have a problem with it. If my kids joined the military in Russia, I would be against it if they were just regular soldiers. If I had sons, I want them to be Marines. I want my kids to be Russian Marines. If they're boys, I don't want them to be drafted or put into the regular army. I want my kids to be Marines. That's why I wear my tilnashka. I wear black and white tilnashka for the Marines. Do people with friendly country citizenships usually get checked? No. Usually, if you have a friendly passport, you're going to have a good time. They don't even put you on a list. I was going to ask, how much do you pay for dental work here? So Ksenia's paying about $1,500 for braces. I think that's what we said in the video. I made a video about her braces. It's about $1,500, I think. And I got my teeth fixed. And it cost me $60 to have them put on. I don't know what the hell it's called, like the fillings. I had my fillings done, and it cost me $60 per tooth. I was waiting for 3 hours yesterday at the airport. No questions, just to check. Yeah, it can be all types of, it could be all types. You can get, in this video, we talked about all sorts of inspections. But as far as the ones I get, usually they're not as bad anymore. I'm known, they know my videos. I'm a local now, so nobody bothers me. If you prove to be someone that they can trust and you're not a bad person, then you are not going to have a bad time. Anton says, I want my sons to serve. Anton, I want you to join the Russian Experience, join our Telegram, and say something in your Mexican accent. Join our Telegrams, guys. Join our Telegram. I'm on the main chat here. People have joined. A couple people have joined. I'm still waiting for Anton to join our Telegram and use his Mexican accent. How to legally cross border with Moldovan citizenship. Moldova is a visa free in Russia. So if you have visa free, the best way for you to do is fly to Serbia and then fly into Russia, or fly to Turkey and fly into Russia. Moldova obviously has a big problem next door to it, and you don't want that. Why Marines and not airborne? Because airborne's overrated. Airborne's overrated. Airborne units. Hey, thank you so much for subscribing, my friend. Oh, and we just have another member. Guys, we forgot. Darn it. Guys, if you are a member and you're watching the stream, every time we get a new member, you have to Giga Chad him. You gotta Giga Chad him, guys. You gotta Giga Chad the new members. It's gotta be Giga Chad. Remember, if you watch the streams and you're a member, always Giga Chad our new members. This is something that we have, and we have to essentially welcome them into the community. Mark, thank you so much for supporting this channel. You are a Giga Chad. We love it. And we are going to play that again because we like seeing the President Vladimir Putin claps. Welcome to the channel, my friend. Listen, it's not because I was a Marine. The Marine Corps in America is air, land, and sea. I'm not sure what it is in the Russian Federation, but a Marine is in itself a unit that can fight in any terrain. And airborne is something that is glorified because of the past history. When is the last time you've seen huge parachutes, like huge airborne operations? You don't really get a lot of those in modern warfare, but the Marine history in every country, the Marines are an absolute elite force. The Marines are going to be fighting in the air and land and sea. The Marines can jump off airplanes just like the airborne can. Now, I understand in Russia they're very, very well respected, but I am a man of the people. I don't believe in special forces. I believe in the common soldier, and the Marine is the common soldier's champion. That's really funny. Army aren't ready Marines yet. Yo, Aussie Spy. There's another channel from on YouTube. So yeah. Yes, so if you say that Russian Marines are used as stormtroopers, it's the same thing for the United States. There's a famous saying, and it goes like this: the Marines are a conquering force, and the Army is a... Wait. So the Army is an occupying force, but the Marines are a conquering force. When the Marines conquer land, the Army occupies it. And that's how it works. So when I was in the Marine Corps, I was stormtrooping. I was with my metal detector. I've showed you guys videos, or I've shown you guys videos. If you've been on some of my lives or some of my videos, I've shown you how we operate. We go towards the enemy and we conquer. That's just how it works. Hello from Buryatia. Hello, Silver. I'm good. Thank you so much for watching. I love you. I love you. Buryatia is right next door to us. I was in Buryatia yesterday. Guys. I went to visit Arshan. I'm pretty sure Silver knows what Arshan is. I was in Buryatia yesterday. Do I need permission to travel to... or thanks free... What? Like a boss. I don't know what you're talking about. If you need a visa, you need a visa. If you don't need a visa, you don't need a visa. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know how to read that. You don't need permission to come into Russia. You need a visa. Hello from Canada. Hello, my friend. Russian Marines are not like US Marines. They are somewhat common soldiers, just with the fleet. They are not overglorified. They are not some special forces. Okay, well, listen, Marines are not special forces either, but they do a lot of work. And that's why I believe that they are the best, because we do more operations with less. The Marines, the average Marine unit will take on jobs that no other forces will take. Anything above the Marines, you're going to need the special forces or special units. But the Marines are the tip of the spear before the special operations. Do I need permission to travel if there's a free visa? Like a boss, where are you watching from, man? What country are you from? If you don't need a visa to travel to Russia for your country, then you can come to Russia with a passport. I'm sorry, but I don't really understand. Hey, thank you so much, Ivan, for letting me know what the Russian Marines are like. With that being said, with you explaining what they are, I would still want my sons to be Russian Marines, and I want them to be sappers, just like me. It's a beautiful job where you can save lives as well as do the other one. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Yeah, we'll try to figure it out. Daniel, hey, buenas noches. Thank you so much, bro. Have a good day. I think the biggest problem for some people is getting the visa, because I don't know, it's they don't believe in like visa centers. Visa centers are your best friends right now, because laws change all the time. Can you get woolly mammoth meat from Siberia if you find the meat that's permafrost? Yeah, I'm pretty sure you could. Is it so damn that the USA has no other regular army than the USMC? The regular army for the United States is not that great. The regular army for the United States is very bad. I told you before, well, bro, you said that a long time ago. If you're from Moldova and you don't need a visa, all you need is your passport. Look online, you might need an e-visa. You might need an e-visa to enter Russia. Other than that, fly to Russia. Hey Dan, why are you ignoring me? I haven't seen anything from you. Oh, here we go. To be honest, Vladimir Putin is the youngest, is not that young anymore. What will replace him eventually? Do you have any idea? By example, okay, that's a good question. So Ibri is asking what my opinion is about the president of the Russian Federation, Vladimir Putin, what's going to happen after him. So we all know that we're not immortal people. I think that the president of Russia right now is more likely getting the next guy ready. Russia cannot afford to not prepare the next guy 10 years in advance, 20 years in advance, because Russia is in a position where the wolves are at its doors at all times. Okay, does that make sense, Ibre? The wolves are always at the doors at Russia. All right? The doors are always filled with wolves when you're Russia. Russia is getting its next president ready 10 years, 20 years in advance. It cannot, I'm going to say the word. Okay, I'm going to say the word. Russia cannot afford to fuck this up. When Russia became a new country after the Soviet Union fell, it grew into what it is now. It grew. Russia, the modern country. Let me summarize this for you. So, December 1991, Russia becomes a country. Okay, listen to what I'm going to tell you guys. Yes, we still get super. Yes, we still get super chats. Everything's working the same. Mark donating 1 membership. That's freaking awesome. Rumlubber, the lucky recipient of the membership. Welcome to the Giga Chat Club, bro. Even free members can use all of the same emojis. And Mark, thank you so much, bro. If you're a member, again, spam that Giga Chat for my brother. Thank you for donation of the memberships. ¿Te gusta tu vida en Rusia? Si yo estuviera ahí, ¿te gustaría mucho? Okay, my mom asked the question. I'm going to answer my mom's question after I finish with this answer. Mami, ahorita le contesto la pregunta. Ahorita se la contesto. Le voy a contestar la otra al muchacho que preguntó antes de usted. So, guys, this is a really good question, and I want to explain it to you, and I've said it so many times, but people don't believe me. People hate this. Russian people hate when I say this. I love Russia. My wife wants to come to Canada to see... Okay. Russian people hate when I say this. But I'm going to say it again. Okay. I'm going to say this calmly, and I'm going to be looking at the camera, and I'm going to tell you what Russians hate to hear. First of all, the question was, what comes after Vladimir Putin? And I said, Russia is getting their next president ready 10 to 20 years in advance because they can't fuck this up. Whoa. Huge member donation alert. Huge membership donation alert. You guys are getting blessed. Huge membership donation alert. You guys just got blessed. Please, guys, please make sure to Giga Chat it up on. If you are a new member, Giga Chat it up for Mark. When you're a member, you do have the privilege to use these things, and we put them there so you guys get to enjoy them. I'm going to continue on with the conversation when these alerts are done. Thank you so much, bro. Thank you so much. It really helps the channel a lot, man. That was really kind of you. And we're going to let these notifications go by. We're going to let them go by. If you just received your free membership, guys, Giga Chat it up for our boy, because he really came through for you guys, man. Thank you so much, Mark. Thank you. I really appreciate it, really. So, I'm not sure about Rumble, but I'm going to get to Ibre's question. Let me know if you can hear me. So, the question was, what comes after Vladimir Putin? I said, Russia's been getting ready. Russia's been getting ready 10 to 20 years ahead. Russia cannot afford to fuck this up. And I'll tell you why. A lot of Russian people hate when I say Russia is only 34 years old. The Russia that we know has only existed for 34 years. It came from nothing. After the fall of the Soviet Union, the West wanted to destroy Russia. The West wanted to break up Russia. And Russia was a baby. In 1991, at the end of 1991, Russia is a new country. Russians hate when I say that. Russians hate when I say that. but I'm saying it out of respect because in 34 years, Russia has built this great economy, has built this strong military, and it has a huge sphere of influence. Listen to what I'm telling you again. Russia is 34 years old. Russia has only existed for 34 years and it has become a global superpower. It has turned into one of the strongest, most influential countries in the world. And Russians hate me. I've been threatened for saying that Russia only existed for 34 years. We know that Russia has 1,000 years of history, 2,000 years of history. We know your guys' history has existed for so long. But the modern Russian Federation is 34 years old. And let me tell you one last thing. This is why Russia cannot afford to fuck this up. Because Russia has such a powerful future, but it has so many people that are envious of Russia. The best thing Russia could do is get ready now. I hope that answered your question, Envy. Ibre, sorry. Now, I'm going to get to my mother's question. My mother asked me, let me see. Again, Mark, huge donation, man. Huge donation, Mark. I really appreciate it, man. It's because of the lives happen because I enjoy to talk and give my point of view. And when donations like these happen, it really motivates me to continue. This channel is on its way to 90,000 subscribers. And when we have memberships, when people can communicate with each other, when we can build a strong community, it keeps the channel alive and it makes the channel ecosystem a lot healthier. And I just want to say again, Mark, thank you so much. You are the Giga Chat of the stream. Today you've been really, and you're doing it again, man. My super chats were not working. I figured this was a good way to help for my time, man. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And by the way, guys, if you see this other donation pop up, it's one of the cute ones. You see, spasibo, spasiba. Ya lublю Россию. Yeah. Ya lublю Россию. I love Russia. I love Russia. And Dennis Pepper, a Russian in the chat. USSR not equal to Russian Federation. There's a freaking kiss for you. You beautiful guy. Because this is what I've been trying to explain to Russians. You guys are something different. And I'm proud that you guys have survived. You made your country what it is now through hard work. I'm going to answer more questions, but again, thank you for the donations. Beautiful, beautiful community. I love you guys. I want to answer my mom's question. Maybe she's not here anymore. Ma, si todavía está ahí, si me está viendo, por favor, déjeme saber. Donaron membresías y tengo que dar las gracias. Y también tuve que contestar las preguntas que llegaron antes que la suya. So my mom says, do you like your life in Russia? And if I was there, what would you think? Would you love your life in Russia? So my mom is asking me, do I like my life in Russia? And how I would feel if my mom was here. How would I like my life then? And my mom knows. My mom knows that I love my life in Russia. I love my life. But my mom is turning 60 soon. And I joined the Marines at 18 years old. And I left my mom and I put her through so much. And I remember going through the war and all these things, man. So listen, if your mom is in their 60s, and you can be with them, be with them. I want my mom to retire and live with me half a year if she wants. Ma, la amo. Mi vida sería lo máximo con usted aquí. I said, Mother, I love you so much, and my life would be at its peak, the maximum happiness if she was here. If you have your parents and you love your parents, bring them with you, retire them. I want to retire my mom in Russia. I want her to be here in Russia half a year and go to Mexico half a year. I want her out of the rat race. My mom has lived in America for the last 40 years. My mom has worked 2 to 3 jobs for 40 years, and I want her out of it. Yes, I want my mom to come as soon as possible. I get emotional because she knows it. So I had another question up here. Why do Americans say that America is the most democratic democracy but turns it... No, I don't know, man. America is not the best example of democracy. America is not the best example of democracy because it's so flawed. America has a huge network of propaganda. Now, America pushes propaganda, and I think that influences voters way too much. We have ultra ecosystems in America, and that's not democracy. When mass media can, even if it's two sides, America's so polarized that it's not a democracy anymore. A democracy should not be a country where two sides are in ecosystems of themselves. This is no longer a democracy. And that's just my opinion, but I don't believe that America is a democracy. When you have the best propaganda machine in the world, America's mass media is second to none. We control Hollywood, we control the movies, we control the music industry. Whether you like it or not, the world looks at America. So we control citizens with music, movies, YouTube, and we have two big ecosystems, and both ecosystems are brainwashed. So, I don't believe in it. Does anybody have any other questions? I want to say that next weekend is going to be the most important live I've done. Next weekend will probably be the most important live I've ever done on this channel. There's going to be big breaking news. My life is changed in Russia forever. What do you think of Trump's tariffs? Do you think it will cause world recession? I think that... Let me think before I speak about that topic. I haven't even thought about America in that way. I think that America is being very desperate right now. So in desperation to gain relevance, I think our president is doing this. It started off with renaming the Gulf of Mexico, the Gulf of America. So there's a lot of weird small things that are happening in America right now. I think it's just bullshit. It's just a way to get into something. Because America lost a lot of leverage under the presidency of President Biden. And I think President Trump is working his way up the real things. I think he's starting low with these petty stuff. This is petty. There's other ways of getting things done. Tariffs can be good, but we have other problems. There's something going on, man. America is not what it was before. It's slowly getting itself back. Then we have Elizabeth using the emojis of the Putin loves. Yeah. This is Putin loves and this is Putin likes. So guys, like I was saying, next week, if you're watching this live, promise me you will be watching next week. Let me look at the calendar. You don't want to miss next week's live. Yes. Yes, for sure. Next week is going to be the most important live I've ever done on this channel. Ever. Up until now, nothing can compete. I feel like Trump is the American Gorbachev, destroying the West. So America is not the West in a way. America has been playing both sides for a long time. America has been using everyone. So you're not really the part of the West, but does it want to break away from the West? Yes. I think America is trying to learn from Russia. If I have to be honest, I think America right now is trying to become more like Russia. We've been hearing like Trump wanting maybe a third term. We've been hearing of laws that have been passing in Russia and influence like America wanting to take Greenland, expansion and all these things. Like this is something that America is learning, that it has to be more like Russia. It has to protect itself. Russia is only expanding because it's protecting itself. And America is thinking ahead. It's like, whoa, maybe we need Greenland to defend ourselves. I think America is finally realizing that China and Russia, they've been doing things differently because it's the modern way of governing, the modern way of thinking. Times are changing. And I think that America is falling behind. It's my opinion that America is trying to be more like Russia. And I don't think that anybody's even mentioned this. But I've noticed it and I've never brought it up. But people, pay attention. America will turn more like Russia because it's the modern age and you need a strong country. You can't be a strong country acting like America under Joe Biden. That's all I got to say about that. Even if Trump doesn't get a third term, the fact that they're even talking about it. Okay, no, don't start from the beginning. I'll tell you guys right now what's happening with my house. Guys, do not have to go back. I will openly tell you right now. So my house, I've only owned the land for 1 year. When I bought the land, I had to break a lot of things. This year, we are doing the foundation to the house. We are finally doing the foundation to the house. We are doing the septic and we're digging for water. This year, we will have a foundation for the house. We will have water in the house and we will have a septic area for the house. I am not a rich person. A lot of people think that I'm a rich Westerner. Guys, I am not the Canadian guy who had a farm and sold everything and the Russian government is somewhat helping him build. I am not that guy. I am not working for the Russian media. I am not promoting Russia because they're asking me to. I never owned anything in my life. I'm a poor bastard. And I'm a proud poor bastard because I have nothing to prove to anyone. A lot of people want to say, oh, you said you were building a house, but there's been no progress. I built a beautiful wall. And I'm going to build a foundation this year. I have nothing to prove to anyone. There could be other people who've been in Russia longer than I have or have more money than I have. And they say, oh, they have a house already. They moved in. You're so slow. I have nothing to prove. I have my wife. I live in an apartment right now. I'm happy. And I'm saving money. And I know that eventually I'll have it. People who always ask and bully me sometimes about saying, yeah, you only break things, you don't build anything. This is mostly Russian people, by the way, which I think it's kind of strange. But in Russia, there's a saying like, breaking things is not building. What happened about the wall? I built that wall. Oh man, every time I say the wall, I think about that. But my wall is beautiful. My wall and my gate is beautiful. We spent almost $3,000 on it. It's an electric gate, 6 meters wide. I can fit damn near anything through that door. But yes, this year you will see a lot of change. Yeah, I do a lot of humanitarian work, and I have episodes from that I haven't published because my channel was dying and I needed to create content again that maybe some people would watch. But I have I have a nonprofit organization in Russia. Every year, every month. Okay, I'll tell you how it goes. A subscriber of mine, I'll tell you how it happened. If you want to hear this story, I mean, if you want to know something, if you want to stay for a live and hear something very interesting, this is the live to stay on. Because I'm about to tell you something very, very cool. Excuse me. So, 1 second. So, here we go. There is a family in Arizona. Darren and Tammy, after watching my first video where I donated $1,000, $1,300, I donated $1,300 that were given to me from 2 of my subscribers. After we made this video, we donated all the money. They wanted to, somebody gave me $1,000 and I said, no, I'm going to donate it. I told them, I'm going to show you what I can do with $1,000. We went to an orphanage. We gave the money away. While I was doing that, my good friend Damir from Moscow sent $300. With $300, we bought kids from the orphanage new clothes for winter. After I made this video, friends from all over Russia donated money. Friends from all over the world donated money. But a huge donation came in from Darren and Tammy from from Arizona. I forget what town. They gave us $10,000. This channel was donated $10,000. I haven't spent a dime for myself. What I did was I matched the money that everybody gave me and I put it in the bank. I put $25,000 in the bank in Russia, and I'm letting it build interest. And every month I donate $400 in food for the people in my town. And I did this. Nobody told me to do it. I'm blessed that I could do it. Thank you for subscribing. I'm blessed that I could do it. Guten Abend aus Deutschland. Guten Abend, Bruder. Willkommen. Und ja, they gave me $10,000. One family did. The rest, it was about $5,000, everybody else. And I matched that money. The $10,000. So I have $25,000 in the bank building interest. And the spare bank, God bless Russia, it gives you really good interest. And we get about $400 a month, 40,000 rubles. And I donate all that in food. And I told the people that donated, I said, I'm going to make an ecosystem, a food bank. I'm going to make it to where I can feed my town for the rest of my life. And so, yes, if you're asking me about my house, I don't have a lot of money, and a lot of my money is in that savings. I put a lot of money in that savings because I matched the 10,000. Every month, we're giving food away. Yeah, thank you so much. By the way, a lot of people don't know. I'm going to show you the original video. The original video that got a lot of people to help and donate. I'm going to show you parts of it. And again, the donations, if you want to donate, are still available on the PayPal. All of the money that comes for donations go into that bank account. Every month when we get our interest, it goes to food. This is the video. I'm going to show you some of this video so you understand, because I want to make sure that it's known. And Mark says, Mexicans will build their own wall in Russia before they build one in Mexico, you bastard. That's hilarious. Yes, we build our own walls in Russia. By the way, when I tell people about my wall, I can't help but to laugh, man, because when the wall was finished, I was like, oh, that's a beautiful wall. I was saying things that Donald Trump was saying. I never saw Donald Trump talk about the damn wall. I have never paid attention to that. But when I came to Russia and I built the wall and they were referencing that over and over again, I was like, what the hell are they always memeing me about the fucking wall? So I looked it up. I was like, oh my God, this is so embarrassing. The comment section on that video about the wall, Mexican builds wall in Russia. It's hilarious. Here we go. By the way, it's only 19,000 views. If you haven't seen it, I'm going to put part of it so you understand. Please do support that video. It's really cool. The video that you're going to see today is going to show you the absolute difference, the contrast between living in Russia. Obviously, in Russia, we do have buildings, we do have richness, we do have wealth, and you can probably tell behind me by the building here to my right that this is one example of Russia. That is a well-maintained building where people who have decent income live in. But to my left, even though we are in the city of Irkutsk, you will see buildings that are absolutely in the opposite conditions, side by side. And so this video, I hope, will make you understand that no matter where you are in the world, you will see the rock bottom in some places. You will see people who have to go through adversity. And I hope that you learn something from this video. The building behind me is what used to be an orphanage. I am in the city or town of Baikalsk. I am here because very generous subscribers have sent 100,000 rubles, which we will be distributing to this building back here. It used to be an orphanage. It is no longer an orphanage. Here, some kids who don't have parents still live here. Here, some people who have low income leave their kids here as a child care, like a daycare. Here, it is still a place where families come to get help. And so we came to this place to offer the assistance that has been sent to us. Jeff from California has been very generous. My friend Damir in Moscow has done his part. And in this video, we will be going into town to buy things that they need so that their lives can be better. The video is very sentimental and near to dear to my heart because I grew up as a low-income family, and the first opportunity that this channel has ever had to distribute wealth because of subscribers is now. This is the first video where you will see this channel actually do something good for the first time. So please come with us, Ksenia and I, to go into town, to see what we can buy for the kids, to see what we can give to the families who have adopted kids. There's a couple stories that are going to be told in this video. This video is dedicated to all those people in the struggle. Just like everywhere else in the world, not everyone has enough to survive. And we're going to be helping a woman who adopted kids from what is now not an orphanage, but she has to be able to keep her kids. To keep her kids, she does have to repair her apartment. She's done a great deed. She's adopted kids, given them a family, and now we're going to help her out. You can see behind me, this building is not in the best condition. Not everybody has good living conditions. So she adopted these kids, and in order for her to keep them, she does have to have her apartment to standards, and that's why we're here. We're going to be giving her some money. Actually, we're going to go buy the things that she needs to better her apartment so that her kids can stay with her. As you can see, the sites that you're seeing now of this toilet, it's not even connected, right? And I'm basically doing this as a reporter because I can't put the mic on. But listen, what we're going to be helping them with today is buying them a new toilet. There's going to be new pipes bought, and the work is going to be paid for as well. That doesn't matter. What matters is that those kids need to have a working toilet. And we will be buying the toilet, new pipes, and a wallpaper for the bathroom. This is the most important thing that they told us that needs to change so that they are able to keep their kids. And you can see the condition in which this is in. This is absolutely broken. The toilet's not even connected with water, so they are flushing with water that they get probably from the bathtub. The wallpaper in the bathroom is destroyed. The wallpaper is going to be renewed. But this is the main objective, getting them a working toilet. The condition of the kitchen is not so bad. They do have an older electric stove here. You can see it's two pilots basically of electric where you can cook. And the kitchen is just this area, right? This is an old wooden building. You saw when we were coming in, there's a lot of things that can be done, but the bathroom is the main objective. In the future, if I'm not asking people for money, but if this opportunity comes again, maybe we can help them to get them a real stove or even get him a real sink. You can see the sink here. It's really old school. It's so old school. And now it's time to head into the town and buy a new toilet. We made it to the store where we're going to be buying the toilet and some pipes. Now, I made a mistake. I was ill-informed. This family actually did not adopt the kids, but they are at risk of losing their kids because they are a low-income family, and the government has seen their apartment. It is not in a good state. And so if we buy this toilet, if we fix the bathroom, they get to keep their kids. It was 6,000 rubles. And to be honest, it's well worth it if they get to keep their kids, but this is not it. We're going to continue to go shopping for more things that we need. We were also informed that they don't have a faucet for their bathtub and a shower head here, so we're going to be buying this whole piece. It's going to be all of this together, and this is going to be 3,711 rubles. This is going to complete their bathtub, their whole setup for the shower bathtub. So the toilet and this is also coming with us. We're going to keep looking, and this is only the beginning, guys. When we were in the apartment, you guys saw that her sink in the kitchen was not up to grade, guys. So we decided, you know what? It's not really going to be bad if we just buy her a brand new system, a brand new desk or a cabinet for her kitchen and a new sink. So we're going to buy her this setup. She chose it in white. It's going to be white. And we're also going to get her a new faucet here on this side. She chose one of these designs. Okay. I believe it's this one. By the way, my father in the chat. It's so nice when your family. It's so nice when your family gets in. Can you guys hear me all right? I actually put that video on. When I said that this was the first good thing that this channel did, I wasn't lying. I don't think that a foreigner making videos in Russia is a special thing. I think a foreigner giving back to the country that he lives in is a special thing. And when I could finally do something to provide to the Russian people, I felt at peace with my heart. Now, if you see my father's writing there like the pride, like this is the Mexican thing, right? It is in my heart. It is my Mexican pride that makes me act this way. When I give away thousands of rubles a month, it is because of my pride that my mother gave me. the pride of supporting the people, supporting the neighbor, supporting the country that you live in. My mother has never bit the hand that feeds her, and I got the same attitude from her. Because I live in Russia, I always felt like I have to do something to make my worth. My mother has dedicated 40 years of her life to the United States. She has lived there honorably. Oh, Bulgaria, hello. So I really, really think that if other YouTubers are not doing something like this, they're wrong. And I don't want to put the pressure on them, but I mean, like, we make content and we get all of these views, but we have to give back to our towns. I made it my mission to sustain my town with money every month. And by the way, I'm going to say this on the record, and I've said this already many times on the other lives. My next goal is we're going to buy property, we're going to buy land, and we're going to plant potatoes every year so that we don't have to buy potatoes, and we're going to feed the families. August, September, October, even November sometimes, the potatoes will survive. Potatoes and carrots. So I'm looking to buy a piece of land with the money. Once we save enough money, buy a piece of land. I'm trying to sustain my people because I know I can do it. I have a different mentality. I work with the government in my local town. They ask me for help. They say, hey, can you help this family? Can you help that family? I say, yes, I can do it. So I work hand in hand with the government. I know they're doing their job, but I know I can do more than what they ask of me. So and today is the wedding anniversary. Oh, wow. Oh. Wow, felicidades. ¿A poco es el día del aniversario de su boda? Qué bonito, ¿eh? Y ya va mi madre ya para Guadalajara. Le tengo tanta envidia a mi mamá porque siempre anda allá en Guadalajara. My mom is going to celebrate her anniversary marriage to my father, and they're going to have a really good time in Guadalajara, Jalisco. Man, I love it. Yeah, it's going to be a greenhouse, and it's going to be also just regular land. I'm trying to make it next year. Next year, I want to buy this plot of land and donate it to the hunger people of my town. I don't understand why this doesn't exist in every town in Russia. I think the government of every town should have a city garden and say, guys, if you are a hungry person, if you're malnourished, you guys can go farm this land. I'm going to start it in my town. I'm going to be the one that does that. I'm going to welcome anybody in my town who doesn't have enough money to own land. I'm going to give every year, I'm going to divide the land. People can come to me and say, I want to plant. And I'm going to say, this is going to be your land for the year. Whatever you can grow there, it's yours. And again, I'm not a rich person, but I know I can do it. Wild Siberia, stock markets are failing in the United States, UK, EU, and Canada. Japan, all of them. Yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Elizabeth says, slow down. It's been over 30 years since I've heard Spanish. And thank you guys for wishing my family a happy anniversary. Their wedding was in Guadalajara, and my mom is going back to Mexico to celebrate her anniversary and her birthday. Both my parents celebrate their birthday in April. So, do you guys have any more questions? I have been looking into greenhouses. Any other questions, guys? Again, thanks for everybody who donated this stream. Thanks for all the membership donations. Thanks to everybody who subscribed. We are going to try to get to 90,000 subscribers this year. We're at 86,000. So if you can share my videos with other Telegram groups, it would help a lot, guys. Please a lot of people share other videos to our Telegram from other content creators. Please do share my videos with other Telegram groups. Daniel, you handsome guy, good night. I didn't get to play Dota tonight with you. I think stocks will go up eventually, obviously. Oh yeah, I forgot to say. I'm gonna put a poll on the. I'm gonna be putting a poll for you guys right now, and please answer it. Okay, brother. Thank you for joining. Saturday morning? No, Saturday afternoon. Saturday afternoon? Yes, Saturday afternoon. Here we go, guys. Next Saturday afternoon, I'm going to be doing the most important live of this channel's existence. Dan, I never get compliments, and I also never give them, but I have to say, you are a beautiful soul, man. No, thank you, man. I really appreciate it. And listen, when you asked the question, I understood the caliber of person that you were, because I think about those type of things. Now, we're talking about the guy who asked what comes after Vladimir Putin. That was his question, and I really respect you for that, because it is something that people should start thinking about, and people, I'm sure, already thought about. And I see where your mind is, and I appreciate where you took this live. You took the live in a really good direction, and I am humbled by your words. It humbles me really when people are kind to me. It's hard to be nice to people. I learned this after I come out of the Marine Corps, because I was aggressive and I was really reserved. It's really hard to be kind to people and give a compliment to people, because you don't know if people can reciprocate that style of communication. And it's because we're so detached, right? But I try my best to come and be more humane. I was an animal at first, but I'm trying to be more humane. And in this community, in this YouTube channel, in this group of people that we stream to live all the time, we're very friendly, and I appreciate you coming out of your comfort zone and giving me that compliment. I'm trying to get a pet perch or a pet crow this year. I don't know if either one is illegal, but I want to get a pet crow or a pet perch. That's a fish and a bird. Yeah, we've been streaming for quite a while, guys. I need you guys to answer if you're going to be able to watch next Saturday afternoon. Next Saturday afternoon is going to be the most important live I have ever done. It's going to be Saturday afternoon for America. It's going to be morning for Russia. And yeah, I learned how to be kind. It took me a long time. But I have to say, guys, thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate everybody. Thank you for joining me. Go watch that donation video if you want to see how it turned out. Share my videos, please, with other Telegram groups. If you're in other Telegram channels of other foreigners, they probably have people who don't know about me, and share my videos with them.